The sky was quiet. Stars hung like cold sparks. The trade lane near the truce line drifted in peace. No one spoke loudly on the alien watch station. They liked silence here. Silence meant safety. Rin, a pale blue officer with clear plates over. His eyes watched the sensor wall. He had done this for 10 long years. He trusted the shape of noise and the rhythm of light. Tonight, something felt wrong. He could not say why. It was like a small taste of iron at the back of the tongue. "Anything?" asked Commander Var, his voice flat. "Nothing worth the log," Rin said. He paused, then added, "A flutter. It is thin. Maybe dust." Lisa, the youngest tech on the deck, hugged her tablet to her chest. "It is not dust," she said. Her hands shook, but her voice did not. "It repeats every 32 seconds. Repeating. Dust," Var muttered. He did not smile. "Clear the Phantom. Truce patrol is coming through. I want a clean board." The patrol formed outside the station windows. 3 lean ships of the Kesh, 1 wide freighter of the Suk, a line of small civilian craft like beads on a wire. All of them trusted the truce line. All of them believed that peace at last had weight. Rin tried to clear the Phantom. The flutter stayed. It was shy like a fish hiding under a rock. He looked at Lysa. She was brave or foolish. She leaned close to the display. "Look," she said. "See the star behind the signal. It dims a little, then brightens. The timing matches the flutter, like something is crossing in front." Commander Var flicked his tongue in mild disgust. "A sensor echo." Lisa did not step back. "Or a hull." No one liked that word. Hull meant ship. Ship meant intent. Intent meant the truce line was only a line of paint in a vast sea. Rin touched the panel again. He slowed the scan, widened the arc, switched to old modes no one used anymore. The flutter changed tone, then hid, then came back on a new edge of the screen. Not dust, not a dead echo. It moved with purpose. The freighter captain called the station. His face filled the corner of the screen. His tusks were wrapped with copper bands. He was annoyed. "We are losing time. Is the path stable?" "The path is stable," Var said at once. Rin's plates clicked. "Commander, we should hold them for 1 minute." "For a ghost," Var snapped. "No." The watch deck settled again. Voices sank low. The patrol slid forward. The station's lights hummed with their usual soft buzz. Inside that small sound, Rin heard a second buzz, very faint like a wire under tension. "Do you hear that?" Lysa whispered. Rin did. He could not tell if it came from the speakers or from his own chest. Then the old speaker at the back of the deck crackled. It was a relic here for tradition only. It never spoke. Now it gave one thin note, and a human voice, full of static, said a single word. "Stand by." Everyone froze. Var stared at the speaker. "Who patched that in?" "No one," Rin said. "The humans do not use our lines," the navigator added. "They have their own." Lisa swallowed. "Commander, authorization stamp on that word is human. It is also old, very old." "How old?" She checked her tablet, her eyes widened. "From the Founding War." Rin felt a cold wave pass over the deck. The Founding War was the story old soldiers told in the dark. It was the war that put the truce line on every star map. Humans had bled hard then and gone quiet. For a century, their ships were small and rare. Their colonies were quiet stones on far roads. They traded. They smiled. They did not brag. Many called them tired. Many called them broken. "Ping the line authority," Var said. "Now." Rin sent the signal. Lights moved across the board. A reply came back. "No human activity reported. Truce is firm. Continue operations." The speaker crackled again, as if mocking the words on the screen. This time it said nothing. Only soft static, like wind through long grass. "Run a light net," Lysa said. "We can map any field that distorts light. Even if it is cloaked." "Wasteful," Var said. But he looked at the patrol, at the small ships trusting the line in front of him. His jaw tightened. Do it! The station cast a fine grid of light across the dark. At first it showed only the cold beauty of space. Straight lines bending around planets, fine arcs around debris, star shimmer where it should be. Then, near the far edge of the grid, a line broke and rejoined like water around a stone. There, Rian said softly. Something big. Distance? Var asked. Close, Lysa said. Her voice was soft now. Very close, the freighter captain called again. We just lost our rear camera. It went black, then white. Hold your course, Var said. Do not fire, do not turn, hold. The captain's eyes narrowed. He obeyed. Courage did not always look like a roar. Sometimes it looked like staying still when your body begged to run. The civilian craft chattered on the public band. We felt a push. My lights flickered. I smell hot metal. Ryan's hands moved on the panel without his mind. He tracked the broken lines of the light net. The shape was wrong. It did not move like a whale in the deep. It did not move like a pirate ship trying to stalk prey. It moved like a mountain waking up. From beyond the station spine, a patrol cutter swung wide to get a better view. Its pilot laughed on open channel. I think it's... His voice cut. The cutter's lights blinked out. For a heartbeat, the ship was a shadow among stars. Then its systems returned in a rush, alarms screaming. The pilot gasped. It is hot. It is. So hot, everything calmed again. The cutter drifted, confused but alive. Electromagnetic wash, Lysa said. Someone is pushing hard against the net. Rian heard his own breath. He could count each beat. He was not alone. Even Commander Var's throat worked as he swallowed. The watch deck felt small, like a box closing. The speaker at the back sang one more time. It was not a word now, it was a tone. It rose and fell like a hand passing over a string. Rian did not know the human code, but he knew music. This sound said very clearly, prepare. He thought of the stories. A single ship. A black hull, a sudden end to the belief that humans were tired. It was nonsense, it was myth. He felt the myth stand up in front of him. Shut down the public band, Var said. No panic. Rian reached for the switch. His finger stopped. In the window, stars shifted. It was not the station that moved. It was the sky itself, as if a new star had pushed the others aside. No, Lysa breathed. Not a star, a shadow with a heart. The light net lines folded and bent as if pressed by an unseen palm. Then the palm turned and opened. Night peeled back. Metal was born from darkness. A ship stood there. It was silent. It was huge. It had no banners, no paint, no welcome lights. It looked like the idea of a blade. Its surface drank starlight. The human symbol on its side was small and pale, like the first scratch on a fresh stone. No one spoke. Even the civilians went quiet, as if their bodies knew that voices could wake old beasts. The ship did not aim. It did not blaze. It merely existed, and the shape of it changed the shape of courage on the deck, the freighter captain whispered, not on the band, but to himself, and yet the station picked it up. So, he said, humans were only sleeping. Rian felt the same thought bloom inside him. He did not fear the ship. He feared the change it brought, the way a wind can smell of rain before the storm is seen. Commander Var found his voice. Send the standard hail. Rian sent it. The reply came at once. A clear channel opened. A human voice, calm and steady, filled the deck. Remain steady, it said. Observe. Do not interfere. Identify, Var said. His own voice was calm now. He had found a rock inside himself and stood on it. You are within the truce line. There was a pause. It lasted 3 heartbeats. Then the voice said, the line is noted. The channel closed. The ship did not move. It had already done the most shocking thing it could do. It had chosen to be seen. Lisa's hands were steady at last. We should record this, she said. Rian smiled without humor. We already are. Outside, the silent sky seemed smaller. Inside, the watchdeck felt larger, as if every breath had more weight. Peace was a glass held in many hands. Somewhere far away, one hand loosened. Another tightened. The story that old soldiers told had walked into the room. It looked at them, and it did not blink. The patrol drifted, the freighter held course, the civilians waited, and the human warship stood like a monument cut from night. No alarms, no sirens, only the thin hum of the station and a new truth sitting in the window, quiet and heavy. The sky was quiet. It would not be quiet for long. The human warship hung in the void like a shadow carved from stone. It did not fire. It did not speak again. Its silence was heavier than any weapon. On the watchdeck, no one moved. Every officer felt the same pressure in their chest, as if the air itself feared to flow. Commander Var broke the silence first. His voice was calm, but his eyes betrayed the tension in his jaw. "They want us to watch. Nothing more." Lisa shook her head. Her young face was pale, her eyes wide. "Ships don't decloak by accident. They showed themselves for a reason. A warship like that, why here, why now?" Rian glanced at the scanner wall. The human ship was so large, the sensors bent around it. Even the most advanced systems could not map its full size. "It's not only their reason," he said softly. "It's their silence. They wait for us to break first." The civilian channel broke open again. Voices of panic filled the deck. "What is that thing? Are we safe? It's human. They promised peace. Why hide a monster at our door?" Var slammed his claw against the control panel. "Mute them!" The voices cut at once. He leaned over the deck. "We will not feed chaos. Order holds here." But Ryan could still hear whispers. Not on the channel, on the deck itself. Navigators leaned close, speaking too low for command to hear. Fear spread faster than orders. One officer whispered, "This is no patrol. This is a warning." Another muttered, "Or a beginning." Lisa gripped her tablet tighter. "Commander, we should send a long wave to the authority. Full report. Let the council deal with this." Var's eyes flicked to her. "The council will demand proof. If we send panic without proof, we will be the fools who cried storm. This ship has not fired. It has not threatened. Do you want to be the voice that breaks the truce?" Her lips trembled, but she did not argue further. The deck dimmed for a moment, then lights returned. Reen checked the systems. The human ship was still there, but something had shifted. Its profile looked different, stretched, as though its shape itself was flexible. He blinked and rubbed his eyes. "Commander," he said carefully, "the ship, it is not solid." Var frowned. "Explain." The edges blur, as if it chooses what we see. Lisa's voice cracked. "You mean it can change shape?" "No," Ryan said slowly. "I mean it can change what we believe is there." The thought chilled the deck. To fight a ship, you must know where its hull begins and ends. If you cannot trust your eyes, you cannot fight at all. The freighter captain hailed again. His tusks no longer shone with pride. His face was damp with sweat. "My crew wants answers. What is this? We will not sit blind while death stands behind us." Var forced a steady tone. "Hold course. Stay calm. If humans wished you dead, you would. Be dead. Their silence is their mercy." The captain spat to the side, a gesture of anger. "Mercy or mockery?" The channel cut. Lisa looked at Var. "He's right. Why would they show us this if not to frighten us? The truce line is sacred, but if they step across it," Ryan finished for her, "then the line is broken." A tremor ran through the deck as if the station itself groaned. Alarms lit for half a breath, then died. Lisa gasped. "That wasn't us." Outside, the stars bent again. This time, not one shadow but many. Small shapes flickered at the edge of vision, smaller ships uncloaking for seconds before fading again. Ryan whispered, "They're not alone." Panic stirred in the room. Officers muttered. Fear was no longer a whisper. It was a storm. Var barked, "Silence!" His voice cracked like a whip. "Hold your stations, hold!" But even his authority could not stop the fear in their eyes. The speaker at the back crackled once more. The same human voice returned. It was calm, quiet, and heavy with meaning. "Observe, report, do not resist." Rian's plates clicked in confusion. "They know we are watching. They want us to watch." Lysa said, almost in tears, "It's a show. They want us to carry the story back. They want the galaxy to fear again." Var's gaze hardened. "Then we will not give them the victory of our fear. Record everything, save every detail, but no panic leaves this deck." Still, fear could not be erased so easily. Officers kept their eyes on the windows. Civilians pressed their faces to glass in terror. The freighter captain whispered prayers into his open channel. Then something no one expected happened. The massive human warship turned, not toward the aliens, but toward the void beyond. Its engines lit with a low, burning glow, and then, like smoke caught by wind, it vanished back into the dark. All the smaller shadows vanished with it. The sky was empty again, silent, clean. For a long moment, no one dared breathe. Finally, Rian said in a hushed tone, "Did we imagine it?" Lysa shook her head. Her tablet still glowed with readings, mass shifts, energy waves, distortions too sharp to deny. No, it was real. They were here. Var straightened. His face was set, his voice cold. "Then we carry the truth, not fear. The truth. Humanity is not broken. They hid in silence. Now they remind us they are awake." No one replied. The whispers had stopped. There was no need. Each officer, each civilian, each captain in sight knew the same thing. The truce line had not been broken, but it had been tested. And in the quiet that followed, the galaxy learned that the whisper of fear was louder than any shout. The warship was gone, but its shadow stayed. It stayed in their minds, in their hearts, in the thin air of the deck. It was not a weapon strike. It was not a declaration of war. It was something worse. It was a promise, and promises once spoken do not vanish. The station felt calm again, but it was a thin calm, like glass that could crack with a touch. The human ship had vanished. The patrol drifted. Civilians whispered. Crew returned to their screens, but their hands were not steady. Rian stared at the sensor wall. The lines were straight and clean, yet something small kept tapping the edge of his mind. He did not know if it came from the board or from his own bones. He turned up the gain. A soft ripple ran across the field, then died. Lysa leaned closer. "You see it too," she said in a small voice. "I see a ghost," Rian answered, "but it is a stubborn ghost." Commander Var stood with arms behind his back. His face was calm. Calm was his armor. "Write the report," he said. "We have proof and we have silence. We send both. We do not add fear." "Commander," Lysa said, "the ripple is back." Rian watched the flutter form a pattern. It was not random. It counted. It pulsed like a slow heartbeat. He tapped a key and layered an old scan over the new one. The pattern grew teeth. "This is not the human ship," he said. "This is something else." The civilian band burst open again. The freighter captain's voice was tight. "My aft heat spikes. We are not engaging thrusters. Why is it hot?" Var snapped. "Hold your course. Do not maneuver." "We are cooking," the captain hissed. "If I lose my coolant, I cannot hold." A second voice joined in. A Kesh patrol leader, cool, angry. "Station, your field is unstable." "Is this a trick?" Rian's plates clicked. "Commander, look!" He sent a magnified view to the large central screen. Tiny shadows moved toward the convoy from the dark, like seeds on the wind. There were many, too many. Lysa whispered, "Darts, cold darts with low power. No transponders, no flags." "Pirates?" Var asked. "Pirates do not plant darts inside a truce lane," Rian said. and they do not hide them under a heat veil. The speaker at the back of the deck woke with a soft hiss. The human voice returned steady and close, as if the speaker stood beside them. "Remain steady, do not scatter," the patrol leader cursed. "They command us now." Var's mouth twitched. "We will not take orders from a shadow," he said, but he did not cut the line. "Freighter, reduce core to idle. Civilians, lock course and power down non-essentials. Everyone, hold." He looked at Rin. "Track the darts." "They are smart," Rin said. "They aim for engines, not hulls. They want to stop ships, not break them." "Kidnapping," Lisa said. "Or ransom." A tremor shivered across the deck. Lights dimmed and returned. On the screen, the darts came closer. One more minute, and they would kiss the freighter's skin. "Permission to launch station drones?" Lisa asked. "No," Var said. "If we launch, the darts will sense a threat and detonate. We need a way to freeze them without heat." "How?" Rian asked. The answer came from the dark. Night peeled again. It did not tear in one place. It opened like a curtain along a long arc, and the human warship stepped through. It did not roar. It did not flash. It simply existed, and the star field bent around it. Lisa let out a breath like a child. "It came back," she said. The human ship took position between the convoy and the oncoming darts. Its hull was still the same black blade, but now thin veins of pale light ran along its sides, like the breath of some deep animal. No guns pointed, no bays opened. On the deck speaker, the human voice said, "Maintain heading." The Kesh patrol leader snarled, "If you attack us, we respond." The voice did not change. "We are not here to attack you." A faint glow spread from the human ship, not bright, not hot. It was like frost made of light. It touched the darts and wrapped them. The screen showed numbers dropping, motion slowed. Then the darts stopped in place, held like flies in amber. Ryan's hands moved fast. "Field strength is high, but temperature is low," he said. They froze the darts without cooking the freighter. "Impossible," the patrol leader muttered. "Not impossible," Lisa whispered. "Just human." A cluster of microcraft poured from the warship's side. They moved like quiet birds. They caught the frozen darts one by one and dragged them into a net of pale light. The net folded back into the ship and was gone. The deck cheered. It was small at first, then larger, then hushed again when Var lifted a hand. "We do not cheer in a truce crisis," he said, but his eyes were not as cold as before. "Signal from the human ship," Rian reported. "Packet attached, origin marks, they want us to see." "Open it," Var said. The screen filled with a sharp image, a dark tube bolted to an old maintenance spine, painted the same color as the station, a launch cluster. Rian zoomed. The bolts were fresh. The weld was clumsy. A serial code burned. Into the metal read, "Bay 3, service." Lacer's voice shook. "That is our station. That is our spine. Those darts launched from us." "Impossible," Var said again, but his voice was softer now. "Security would see." Rian pulled the internal logs. There was a 1-minute blind spot, a camera outage, a maintenance drone record, a false signature with a clean pass. Someone had cut a hole in their eyes and used that hole to slide in a weapon. "Who?" Var asked. Before anyone answered, the service door at the back of the deck slid open. 2 engineers in grey walked in with tool cases. Their faces were blank. Too blank. Lisa looked at them. The younger one glanced down and touched his ear. Commander," Lisa said very softly. Var did not look at her. He looked at the engineers. "You are late," he said. "We were sent to fix the relay," the older one said. "By your order." "I made no such order," Var replied. The older one blinked once, slow. His hand reached for the case latch. "Stop," Var said. The man did not stop. Rian moved before thought. He crossed the deck and slammed the case shut with his arm. The younger engineer flinched and dropped his tool. It was not a tool. It was a shaped charge the size of a fist. Alarms screamed. Security swarmed. The two engineers froze, then tried to run. They did not get far. In seconds they were on the floor, hands bound, faces pale. Var stared down at the charge. "So that is how you built a blind spot," he said. "You make the station look away." The speaker crackled again. The human voice said, "Your house has cracks. Seal them." Then, after a heartbeat, "We hold the quiet. Do not mistake it for fear." The patrol leader's voice cut in, rough with shame. "Human vessel, you meddle in our security." "We prevented a theft of your people," the human replied. Var looked at the bound engineers. "Why?" he asked them. "Who pays you?" The older one spat. "You will not believe the answer." "Try me," Var said. "Anyone who wants the truce to fail," the man said. "Anyone who sells fear, anyone who makes money when ships stop moving." He smiled with a broken mouth. "Many flags, many friends." Lisa flinched. "So it was not humans," she said. "It was us. Our own cracks." Var nodded once. "It was us." On the screen, the human warship turned a little, as if listening. To a voice only it could hear. Its engines hummed. The netted darts were gone now, locked inside. The convoy drifted alive and whole. The freighter captain came back on the channel. His voice was low. "Human ship," he said. "I am in your debt." "No debt," the human replied. "Only memory. Remember who froze the darts. Remember who did not fire." Var lifted his chin. "We remember." The warship did not answer. It simply dimmed its pale veins, and night climbed back over its hull. For a breath, it was a shadow. For the next breath, it was less. Then it was only a fold in the dark. Then it was gone. Silence filled the deck, real silence, not fear. Rishin breathed again. Lisa wiped her eyes and laughed once, shaky and bright. Var placed one heavy hand on the rail and looked out at the clean stars. He spoke quietly, so only those near him could hear. "We thought the truce was a wall that kept danger out," he said. "But it is a garden we must tend. Today, someone else pulled the weeds before we saw them." Rian nodded. "And the gardener walked in shadow." Lisa smiled. "And chose." "Mercy, record that," Var said. "Send the packet with all logs. Name it what it is." "What is it?" Rian asked. Var watched the empty lane where a black ship had stood like a blade. He let the moment sit on his tongue, simple and strong. "A reminder," he said. "Peace is not weakness, it is work." Outside, the convoy moved on. Engines warmed. Traffic lights blinked green along the lane. The station hummed. The sky looked quiet again, but no one on the deck was fooled. They knew what lived inside that calm now. They knew who had chosen to be seen, and somewhere beyond the truce line, a ship that looked like night carried a net of dead darts and a single clear message. It would travel star to star, not to boast, but to warn. Those who sold fear would learn new math. Mercy could be sharp. Silence could be strong. And when darkness opened, it did not always mean doom. Sometimes it meant help. The lane was calm again. Ships moved in a slow line. The station lights hummed like a quiet song. But calm is not always peace. Calm can be the breath taken before a shout. Ryan watched the screen. He did not trust the silence. A thin echo touched the edge of the grid, then vanished. He leaned forward. "There," he said. Lisa frowned. "I see it. It looks like a shadow without a body." Commander Var kept his hands behind his back. "We will not jump at ghosts," he said. "Finish the report. Send it to the authority." Reen turned the filters. The echo returned, then split into three. "Not ghosts," he said. "Burn in from engines. Jumps, very close." The civilian band filled with voices again. "Is the lane safe? My shields twitch. Who is coming?" Var lifted a hand. "Mute public band." He looked at Lisa. "Range 2 jumps, she said, maybe 3. They come from outside the line, but their marks are wrong. Not Kesh, not Suk, no flags at all. Reen tasted iron at the back of his mouth. Raiders, he said. Or something worse. Space tore like thin cloth. 3 ships slid in, long, dark, with hard angles and cold lights. They did not send greetings. They spread out like knives around the convoy. A new voice cut the air. It was not human. It was dry and sharp. This lane is closed. All traffic will cut engines and accept. Inspection. Var's head lifted. By whose order? By the Red Verge Compact, the voice said. Lisa whispered. Never heard of them. Reen said. I have. Smugglers with uniforms. They sell fear and call it safety. The freighter captain opened a private channel. His tusks shook. Those ships visited my dock last year. They took what they wanted and sent a bill. Var's jaw tightened. All ships, hold course, he ordered on the secure band. Do not power weapons. We do not start a war. The 3 dark ships shifted. Panels opened along their sides. Thin darts spilled into the lane like a cloud of black seed. Ryan's stomach dropped. More darts, he said, like before. Lisa tapped keys fast. They aim for engines again, engines and airlocks. They want to freeze ships and board. The station grid flickered. For a heartbeat, the defense numbers spiked, then bent sideways. Ryan hissed, Commander, our guns just took a remote patch. From who? Var asked. From us, Reen said. His voice sounded small. From inside the station. Lisa's hands flew. The saboteurs left a seed in our code. It woke up now. If we fire, the guns may target the wrong ships. So if we defend, Var said, we shoot our friends. The dry voice spoke again, now on the public band, so every ear would hear, Station, stand down. Your grid is ours. We will keep order. Convoy, you will accept inspection. Panic swelled on the civilian band like a wave. Don't let them board. They will take our children. Help! Var's voice cut through. Silence on public band. But fear does not obey. Rules. The speaker at the back of the deck cracked with soft static. A calm human voice flowed out. Hold the line. Do not scatter. Var's eyes narrowed. If you are here, he said to the room, not to the speaker, then show yourself. Night opened. The human warship slid from the dark like a blade from a sheath. It took position between the 3 raider ships and the convoy. No roar, no threat, only presence. The raider voice changed tone. Human ship, you are outside your claim. This is a neutral lane. The human voice answered, mild and clear. Then do not break it. Lisa watched the dart cloud spread. They will reach the freighter in 20 seconds. Do we launch? Drones, Ryan asked. If we launch, our own grid may hit them, Var said. He looked at Lisa. Can you cut the infection? Not in 20 seconds, she said, but maybe I can box it. Give me a safe channel to the guns. 1 clean strand. Take it, Var said. The raiders fired first. Slim beams touched the lane, not to slice but to scare. They painted lines across the freighter's bow. The convoy drifted, confused. 1 civilian ship began to turn away. Hold course, the human voice said. We take the first wave. The human warship did a strange thing. It breathed. Pale lines along its hull brightened, then dimmed, like lungs in a sleeping giant. A soft field spread out, not hot, not bright. It moved like rain across dust. The darts slowed, they trembled. They stopped dead in the field, hanging in space like black snow. The raider voice spat a curse. Interference. Illegal field. Illegal boarding, the human replied. Panels opened on the human ship, but no missiles came. Instead, thin threads of metal unrolled into space and wove themselves into sheets. The sheets fluttered on invisible lines and swept the drifting darts into tidy bundles. The bundles folded and vanished into the ship. Reen could not help it. He smiled. They sweep the sky like a kitchen floor. Var did not smile. He watched. The raider ships. They will not accept shame, he said. They will fire for real. He was right. The 3 dark ships showed their teeth, hard light built along their spines. The first shot came, bright and fast, straight at the human ship's forward edge. The warship did not dodge. The shot hit a thin line of nothing just in front of the hull and bent sideways like a river hitting a rock. It flashed into the void and died. "Redirect field," Lisa breathed. "They are turning force, not blocking it outright." "Smart," Rayan said. "Kind." The raiders fired again. Their beams licked the field and curved away. Their missiles shuddered, lost guidance, and drifted. The human ship stayed silent, and still. A whisper reached the station from the freighter. "I have codes," the captain said on a tight channel. "From when they robbed me, they bragged, they drank. They told me the trick to their shields and laughed." His tusks clicked. "I recorded it." "Send," Var said. The codes jumped to the human ship in a blink. No words came back. Instead, the human warship moved for the first time with intent. It turned a fraction like a head from a statue, and a very narrow line of dark light reached out. It did not blaze. It did not even glow. It touched the nearest raider ship along. A seam. The raider ship split without an explosion. It just came apart, slow and almost gentle, like cloth cut by a sharp blade. Lights went out. Escape pods popped free like seeds from a dry pod. The second raider panicked and fired at the station. The grid woke like a beast and tried to bite itself. Lysa shouted, "Now! I boxed the infection! Fire on my mark, Commander!" "Only on my mark." Var did not ask for proof. He did not ask for permission. "Mark," he said. Lisa hit the key. One station gun spoke, just one, and spoke low. A cold beam pushed the raiders' attack aside. The station did not burn. The civilian ship did not die. The raider's gun went dark. The third raider tried to run. The human ship made no chase. It released a cloud of glitter you could not see, unless you knew where to look. The glitter drifted across the raider's path and stuck to its hull. The ship slowed, as if it suddenly remembered it was heavy. The human voice returned. "Stand down, Red Verge Compact. Your crew will live. Your cargo will not." The second raider, wounded and angry, answered with a curse. The human ship replied with quiet action. A second thin line touched the raiders' engines. They went silent. The ship spun, powerless, but whole. On the deck, no one cheered this time. They watched and breathed. They understood what they were seeing. Power that did not gloat. Strength that chose where not to hit. Security dragged the last of the station saboteurs into holding. The older engineer looked up with a bloody smile. "Enjoy your heroes," he said to Var. "You will hate them soon enough." Var knelt. His eyes were hard. "We hate the ones who sell fear," he said, "and we know your buyers now." He stood. "Take him away." Reen's screen flashed. A new packet came from the human ship. Logs, proof, names, money paths, a map of false flags. One thread led into the dark. One led to a door inside the authority itself. Lysa whispered, "Commander, this goes higher than smugglers." Var's face did not change. "We send it all," he said, "but we move it by hand. No more blind spots." The speaker crackled. The human voice said one last thing. "The lane is clear. Keep it clear." A pause. "Your garden is your own." Var lowered his head once, like a bow. "We will keep it," he said. The human ship dimmed. It seemed to fold into itself, into shadow, into memory. Then it was gone. The convoy moved. The station lights steadied. The sky looked clean again, but the calm was new. It was not the empty quiet of before. It was a quiet with teeth. The freighter captain spoke on a soft channel. "I will pay what I can to repair what they broke," he said. "And I will tell my children a true story." "What story?" Reen asked. "That mercy can be sharp," the captain said. "That silence can be brave." Var turned to his crew. "Write this day in simple words," he said. "Let every ship read it." Lisa sat back, finally breathing. "What do we call it?" Rian looked at the lane, the clean stars, the steady lights, the places where fear had tried to grow. He found simple words and spoke them like a promise. "We call it the day the truce fought back," he said, and in the deep, where eyes could not see, a black ship carried away broken darts, quiet proof and one clear message: peace is work and someone is always watching. The truce lane was open again. The raiders were gone, their ships broken or captured, and the convoy drifted forward in fragile calm. The station's alarms had gone quiet, but the crew's nerves had not. No one trusted the silence anymore. Reen sat at his console, hands trembling over the controls. His eyes refused to leave the scanners. "It feels wrong," he whispered. "They are gone, but it feels wrong." Lisa hugged her tablet close. "It's not wrong," she said. "It's heavy, like the air before a storm." Commander Var stood at the rail, still and tall, his gaze fixed on the wide window of stars. "The storm has already broken," he said. "We are standing in its rain." The deck was hushed. Even the civilians on the public band spoke in soft voices, as if they feared to wake something still hiding in the dark. Then the speaker at the back of the room crackled to life again. The calm human voice filled the air, low and steady. "Convoy secure, station secure. Now listen." Every officer froze. Civilians hushed their chatter. Even the freighter captain leaned in, his tusks catching the light. The voice continued. "For a century, you thought us broken. You thought we were tired. You thought we had no claws left. You were wrong." Lisa's breath caught in her throat. She looked at Var, but the commander gave no sign. His eyes stayed on the stars. The human voice pressed on. "We did not vanish. We did not surrender. We watched. We listened. We waited. And we learned what silence could buy." Ryan's fingers twitched. "They are speaking to everyone," he murmured. "Not just us. This is a broadcast." He was right. Other stations on the line echoed the signal. The voice poured across channels, through fleets, into trade hubs. It carried far, to every ship that could catch a whisper in the void. "Today you saw a shadow move," the voice said. "One ship, one reminder. We do not fight for conquest. We fight because peace is ours too, and we will not let it be stolen." The freighter captain answered first. His voice shook, but his words were clear. "Human ship, you saved my crew. My children will live. For that I thank you," the voice replied, calm as stone. "Do not thank us. Remember us. That is enough." Lisa pressed a hand to her chest. "They're planting fear," she whispered, "but also hope." Var finally turned from the window. "Both are weapons," he said. The station lights flickered once, then steadied. Rin checked the systems. A new packet had been forced into their memory banks. "Commander," he said, "they left us something again." "Open it," Var ordered. The screen filled with raw data, logs of the raid, the saboteurs, the false codes, the names hidden in the money trail. But at the center of the file was one simple line, written in the human tongue. "We are not broken." Lisa read the words aloud, her voice trembling. "It sounds less like a boast," she said, "and more like a warning.